Welcome to the Marine Electronics and Electromechanical category of Boat Service Log. This section contains the electrical and electronic equipment stored on your boat. The section on the left contains links to the subsections of this category. The Marine Electronic Notes box to the right provides an area to enter any general comments relating to this category. The subcategories in this section include battery banks, chargers and inverters, which include converters and solar and wind equipment, radios and telephones, marine electromechanical equipment like windlasses and autopilots, and marine instruments, which include all the other electronic devices on board. The first subcategory that we'll cover is the battery banks. The battery bank entry form enables you to document information relating to your onboard battery banks. The battery manufacturer is the only required field. Notice that some of the fields have a pull-down menu button. The pull-down items are meant as a guide only. You can enter any data you want in the field itself, and the system will ask you to save it as a new pull-down item. The remaining fields include the battery model and type, the location of the bank, and the bank's primary functions, such as a house or a starting bank, the voltage of each battery, and the number of batteries in the bank, how the batteries are wired together, and the total bank's voltage. Notice that some of the fields are framed in purple. This indicates that right-clicking that field will bring up additional information relating to that field. The battery rating and the measurements of rating, such as amp hours or capacity minutes, are all used to calculate the overall bank rating. And lastly, the date fields, the date first installed and the date last tested. The right-hand box of the battery bank screen contains two tabs, the Notes tab and the Documents tab. The Notes tab enables you to enter notes and reminders relating to the battery banks, a due date, and the recurring cycle. The Documents tab enables you to store pictures, diagrams, and documents relating to a battery bank. You can add a file from your computer to the document library by clicking the Add button. You can search for documents by using the Forward and Previous buttons, or you can delete a previously saved item. You can also search for items using the pull-down menu. The system assigns a default category and device to your document. In this case, it is Electronics category and a device battery. However, you can set your own defaults by clicking the Change Default button. Clicking on the image itself will bring up a full-screen version of it. This concludes the battery bank section of Boat Service Log. The next subcategory that we'll go to is chargers and inverters. The chargers and inverter entry screen is intended to document all your power supply components. The component manufacturer is the only required field. The remaining input fields include model and serial number. The component description can be one or more of the selection boxes, or it can be entered as a new item. The selection boxes include components such as alternators, transformers, solar and wind components, etc. The Input Requirements section provides a place to document the input and output requirements of the device. This concludes the chargers and inverters section. The next section we'll cover is the radio and telephone entry screen. The radio telephone entry screen enables you to keep track of all your radio equipment on board and your handheld portable equipment. The input fields include manufacturer, model, location, serial number, whether or not the radio is GPS connected, the radio frequency, and whether it's capable of digital selective calling. This concludes the radio telephone section. The next section we'll cover is the Marine Electromechanical section. The Marine Electromechanical section lets you enter mechanical devices that are aboard your boat. The fields include manufacturer, model, location, and serial number. The component descriptions act as a guide. You can enter any new item in the area provided. An example of electromechanical devices are autopilots, air conditioners, bow thrusters, electric davits, electric winches, refrigerations, etc. The power requirements section keeps track of the voltage, amps, and watts necessary to run the device. This concludes the electromechanical section. The final section in this category is the marine electronic equipment. The marine instrument section lets you document all your marine instrumentation. The input fields include manufacturer, model, location, serial number, and wiring. The component description section contains a selection of devices. If the device you're adding is not in the list, you can add it as a new item. As a sample of the devices that are in this section, there are chart plotters, compass sensors, computers, depth sensors, fishing finders, radar, rudder angles, wind speed, etc. That concludes the marine instruments section. This concludes the electronics category of boat service log. Thank you very much for listening, and please go on to plumbing, mechanical, or safety equipment, and safe boating.